Welcome, Talkin VAWLS, episode number 87. This is actually number 87. I don't know if anybody catches that or not, but Boogie sure did. BasketVAWLS edition. We're brought to you by the oh goodness. Start over. Brought to you by the Outright Geekery Podcast Network at outrightgeekery.com. Also, we're currently live on YouTube, courtesy of the S&B Network. Make sure that you go ahead and smash that like button, please, 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 and share out that link. My name's VAWLS JP.
I'm Dobber. What's happening?
What is up in Big Orange Land, BasketVAWLS? Since the last time we done the episode last Wednesday night, our Vols went 1-1. Heartbreaking loss to South Carolina, pretty much, in my opinion, put the final nail in the coffin for the opportunity to potentially make the NCAA tournament. Gave that basketball game away. Turnovers, free throws. Anytime that you, like Barnes said, anytime that you go on the road and you have 20 turnovers and basically shoot 60% from the free throw line, missing 11 freebies, you're not going to win many basketball games doing that. And it continues to plague the Vols this year. Turnovers, especially, continues to be the team's Achilles heel. They did bounce back back last night against a, just call them what you want to call them, a really bad Vanderbilt team. I mean, they're 1-12 now.
A bad but well-coached team. I think Stackhouse is going to turn Vandy not necessarily around to a powerhouse, but at least have them playing better than they have the last couple of years.
Yeah, when that Naismith kid got hurt, I mean, he was averaging 23 points a game. If he plays last night and is on his 23-point average, Tennessee gets pretty much annihilated last night. But yeah, I mean, Vanderbilt certainly has played probably better than the record has indicated. And I apologize. I have been under the weather with this old sinus stuff. So if I have to cough, I'll try to hit my mute button as soon as I can. But it's rough. It's rough. But anyway, yes, I was really impressed with the way that Vandy fought and played last night. I mean, they was getting to the loose balls. They were getting the rebounds. Just seemed like that they were the more inspired basketball team in the first half, and then Tennessee comes out in the second half and, is actually down there at one point by 5 points, maybe even twice. Vanderbilt got it up, and then Tennessee would make a run. And very disappointing with how the Vols finished that game, though, last night.
Oh, man. Yeah. You hit on it there at the beginning. Going back to talk about the South Carolina game, turnovers, and that's what this team has been plagued by since game one against UNC Asheville. I think they had 20 or 21 turnovers against them, and Barnes said, this team can't afford that, and that was before Lamonte Turner went down and out for the rest of the season. I kind of wanted to get on, hit on it just a little bit. I know there was a big bunch of controversy about the end of the South Carolina game, the call against Fulkerson, charge, block, flop, whatever. And I'll just get this out right now. I think it was a bad call. But there's bad calls throughout the game, and it shouldn't come down to that. Should not have ever come down to putting it in the ref's hands for a call that doesn't go your way, and that's basically the ball game. With 8 minutes left, the Vols
7.
Yeah, 54-47, and you're talking about 4 consecutive trips down the court that resulted
turn the ball over
in a turnover. Yeah. Didn't even get a shot attempt off.
Yeah.
And almost did the same thing last night.
Yeah.
3 consecutive trips down the court. Do not even get a shot attempt off. Turn the ball over. and breathe life and hope into Vanderbilt, who, like you said, having a horrible season, would want nothing more than to beat their in-state rival on their home court to further rub salt in the wound of the year that we're having. But that would make Vandy's year to beat us. But, gave them every opportunity in the world to come back in that game.
And I mean, practically took two just stone cold free throws right there at the end to ice it. I mean, it's a 2-point game when Bowden goes to the line, and everybody knows the struggles that he's had this year. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, we're about ready to blow a 13-point lead in like a minute and a half.
Yeah, and I did see some comments from Viscovi talking about that's probably the first time that he's seen Barnes mad. And he said it was kind of odd because we're happy and we're kind of celebrating that we won the game, but then we know the fact that we had a 10+ point lead, and then it got pretty questionable and sweaty palms, and I go from kind of sitting there with the game on looking at my phone to oh gosh, they're going to lose this game. It was just this team, and I hate to keep going back to it, but I mean, you're playing with 3 to 4 freshmen out on the court, and guys that just, I guess, don't know how to close out games. But it's plaguing this team.
It's frustrating to watch. I mean, it's very frustrating, and obviously that first half with Barnes, I mean, he was frustrated at halftime last night.
Oh yeah.
When they came and talked to him, that reporter, I mean, she asked him what they needed to do better, and he was just like, basically just being stupid with the basketball. Yep. I mean, just passes that and Pons last night, I mean, he was guilty of several really bad passes.
Well, they're at the end. I don't know if he was going to try to get fancy and dunk it or what, but that.
Yeah, he let the guy steal the ball from him.
If he would have just pulled it up and got fouled or passed it around to kill some more time off the clock.
Yeah. Just not a very, very smart basketball savvy team.
And I know a lot of Barnes's frustration was directed in the first half towards Fulkerson, who I think he had 1 point in the first half and missed some, chip-in layups and shots that we've become accustomed to seeing him hit. Coming off of I think the third time this season in conference that he's set a career high at South Carolina, where he went for 25. Also led the whole game in rebounds, I think with 8 or 9. To lay in an egg like that in the first half against Vandy, basically being nowhere to be found. If you want to take these last 2 games and get a positive out of it, the second half that Fulkerson had, the entire game that he had against South Carolina, even in a losing effort, we talked about it last week. Just the transition that this kid has made from last year to this year. If he can continue to progress. I mean, I'd like to see him, bulk up, gain a little bit of weight so he could bang around underneath a little bit more. But man, we've talked about it. His hustle and his heart and his effort, off the charts.
Yeah, and he actually took that loss to South Carolina. He took the blame for it. You know.
Yeah, I saw that.
He said afterwards, even though that he had a career high 25 points, he said he said, that he felt like that he cost them the game by missing several key free throws. And I mean,
well, and
this team is what they are. I mean, it
that's
is
what you
what they are.
expect a leader to do. But I don't know if he's the guy that can be the on the court leader. They don't have a guy, and we've gone round and round with it. There's not a guy that they can go to night in and night out to be their offensive guy.
No, there's not. And just think about on the last couple of years when Tennessee might have been going through a streak there in a game when they were getting beat or even if they had a bad series that resulted in a turnover. Remember how Williams and Schofield and Bone and Alexander, that they would be coaching each other.
Yeah.
They were each other's harshest critics, and we just don't have that right now with this young team, and that's something that you don't see a whole lot of really in college basketball anymore, because most of the teams that are good have all these kids that are 1 and 2 year players, and not a lot of them are senior laden teams, kind of like that are an even more experienced team the way that Tennessee was last year, especially. So, I saw last night where they're that net ranking, which that plays into really how that they look at the at-large bids, or all that stuff as far as the seedings go for the NCAA. And I think Tennessee was 63rd or 64th right now currently. So I mean, that's not boding well, because 64 teams are in, but there's a lot of obviously some automatic bids that get in from these smaller schools that are nowhere near in the top 60 or anything like that in those net rankings.
Right.
I'd say realistically that you'd probably have to be probably in the 30s before you get an at-large bid. So, and
that's providing that a lot of the better teams don't lose their conference tournament.
Yeah,
if you get somebody get hot on a weekend and run through a couple good games and knock off a ranked team or somebody that's on the bubble that has a higher ranking, those conference tournament winners, they get that automatic bid. So then your at-large bids go to these other teams that are ranked but didn't win their tournament.
Yeah, I hope that my mute's working when I have to cough.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it's my mute light. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And unfortunately, tonight when I need it to be working a lot, it's not working. So I'm hoping that I'm hitting the button on that. I apologize. Like I said, it's been a rough couple of days for old Vols JP. But yeah, it's I just don't see how that's going to happen. I mean, obviously, if you look at the Vols schedule coming up, I mean, they could certainly improve on that net ranking, but to me, it would be pretty much that they'd have to run the table, because you've got Auburn this weekend, Saturday at Auburn, who's ranked 13th. You have to play them again, last game of the season, regular season. Still have to play Kentucky once, which is ranked top 10th, I think, right now. So the opportunity's there. Florida, I think, has a pretty high net ranking. So outside of Tennessee, just reeling off just some, basically 5 or 6 straight wins here. I just don't think that there's any way that they make the tournament. And honestly, unless they win probably 4 of those games, I don't even know if we'll make the NIT.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, does Barnes even accept a bid to like that? What's that? Is it the CIB or something like that? I know ETSU's played in it a time or two here over the last 5 or 6 years. I mean, at that point in time, do we even accept a bid to that? I think the last time that Tennessee missed the NCAA tournament, that they didn't even make the NIT either that year. So with that, I think that was probably like in 16, I guess it was, maybe something. something like that. So I don't know. I mean, I just think that it's going to be tough to do, and certainly hope that they prove me wrong with it, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I mean it's a long shot now. We said last week that the way the schedule's set up, they had to win against South Carolina and Vanderbilt to kind of get that momentum heading into this stretch run with two at Auburn, Florida, and Kentucky. And man, to especially the way we dropped the one to South Carolina, having a lead on the road, a double-digit lead pretty much with 8 minutes left, and then just to collapse. Just poor basketball to close out those games. And like I said last night as well, gave Vanderbilt every opportunity to come back in and still won in the Tommy Bowl.
And I know that we've talked about this just about every single episode, but it does seem like that this basketball team does play to the level of the competition. I mean, you look at what they did a few weeks ago going out there to Kansas and, had a great opportunity to pull that upset. Mm-hmm. I mean, was in that ball game the entire game, right down to the end. And then last Saturday, played
Kentucky well.
Yeah, played them well. Just just didn't make the stops down there at the end, and Tennessee didn't make the shots. But then again, last night they just struggle against a bad Vanderbilt team, and like we said, just almost had a huge disaster at the end. And then certainly Saturday at South Carolina, they just couldn't pull it out.
So in your words, they're heckle and jive.
Yeah, they are very heckle and jive. It is. It's true. That is the new Talking VAWLS shirt for 2020. Heckle and jive. God, let's hope that's not the football team's motto this year.
Oh man. You got
the old paper bag will be back out in full force.
Got Codie Branch in here.
What's up, Codie?
Saying he wishes that Folky would get some more blocks in a game. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we can ask any more of him. Talking about blocks, though, Pons, I think he had 3 against South Carolina, and I know of 2 last night, I believe. So
I'll look here and see.
Consecutive streak of 26 now, I believe. Every game this season, he has had at least 1 blocked shot. That's pretty impressive.
It's crazy how we had 7 total in the game yesterday. It's pretty impressive that Tennessee leads the conference in blocked shots with the size disadvantage that they have. Which I think I know most of that is Pons. They actually gave Pons only credit for one block. They actually had Folky with 3 last night. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's we talked about Pons as well quite a bit last week, and the progression and just the elevation to his game coming out and as becoming a bit of an offensive scorer. That's so impressive. And if he continues, I've seen some people talking about him, throwing out questions, projective starting 5 for next year. And, somebody will throw Pons' name out there. Then you'll get all these people coming back. Oh, no, he won't be back next year. He'll leave early. I don't see that happening. And I think we talked about this last week. He's not consistently enough of an offensive scorer. I don't think he could sustain an NBA run. You look at Schofield. Schofield is much more of an offensive threat, and he's bouncing back between the D League and the NBA. But I mean, if he's got an opportunity, you can't fault the kid for doing that. But I think he benefits greatly from another year in college.
Oh, I think so too. I mean, I've seen a few people talk about how they think that he could end up testing waters and turning pro. I think that'd be a very, very bad mistake for Pons. I mean,
If he does, he probably ends up overseas. Back
yeah,
in France playing.
yeah. I just don't see that happening with him. I mean, I think that he's going to try to stick it out another year because I mean, let's just be real. There's a lot of talent that's coming into Knoxville. I
Absolutely.
mean, this time in 8 months when basketball is about ready to start back up again, I mean, this team's going to look totally different with the influx of freshman talents coming in, and if those guys are as good as advertised, I mean, it should elevate everybody else's game.
Oh yeah,
and
because you've got
if
some
Pons
guys
can make that jump, I mean, then definitely, I think that this time next year he could be looking at a first round pick in the NBA just basically on his athletic ability alone.
You've got three guys, two especially coming in next year that are going to vie for playing time. So that's going to push these guys that are currently starting or the first or second guy off the bench. That's going to push those because that's taking some of their minutes. And
it'll be interesting to see.
It's going to create competition, and then also will lead to the opportunity or miss opportunity, however you want to call it, for guys to leave, like Derek Walker and a couple of the others that have left the program. But I mean, you think if some of those guys that bolted, had they stayed, I mean, they could be integral parts to this team right now.
Well, I mean, it would have gave you the opportunity to probably redshirt Pembert, redshirt Kamwa, redshirt maybe even Gaines even.
Yeah.
If we had a couple of Derek Walkers and the Burns kids stay. So with that, but no one special. I've had his comment up here for a while. Just talking about the lack of leadership, and I agree. And I mean, that's kind of what I was hitting on there earlier about during the timeouts last year that you'd see Williams and Schofield and Bone and Alexander. They were actually coaching each other up. That they didn't. If somebody wasn't doing something right, it didn't even take Barnes or one of the assistants to even tell them.
Yeah.
They knew what they needed to do better, and we're just not seeing that. And again, I just don't know who that you can really expect that from. I think everybody looking back on it now, we certainly felt like that this was going to be Bowden's team and or him and Turner, and then especially when Turner went out. But Bowden's just it's really unfortunate for him because he has done a lot for that program, and he's been a really good player and a really good student down there and stuff. And who knows? Maybe Bowden can hit that hot streak going down the stretch here, and he's actually played better. I mean, he's been scoring some points. He's still just very erratic, especially from 3 points. I mean, he's just his shot is just not. It just doesn't even look good right now.
No,
it doesn't even look good. I was reading something and somebody was mentioning how he was almost like he was kicking his legs out. So I don't know.
I can't remember if it was if we talked about it on here, or if you and I were talking about it, or if I read it, that it was something like 70% of his points last year were assists from either Turner or Bone, or something like that. So I mean, he's
had some really good opportunities this year. I mean, he's had some wide open shots. And was it last night? I think it was last night. The very first shot he took from 3-point land airballed. And and it was an open shot.
Yeah.
But I mean, he just missed everything, and I'm just like, man, something is just not right there. I mean, something is just not right. We got UT Tanner. He said he made it. What's up, UT Tanner?
Well, I never heard anything about Josiah Jordan James' groin injury until he was out and missing games.
Yeah.
But apparently that was something that has kind of nagged him from even prior to the season starting. So, same thing with Turner's shoulder. I knew he had issues with both shoulders, had prior surgeries on both shoulders. But coming into this year, didn't really hear anything about it. And then all of a sudden, he's making an announcement after a game that he's done for the year.
Yeah, he's done.
So
career's over. Yeah.
I don't know if Barnes is, just hush hush on injuries, and I'm just speculating. I mean, there is something off with Bowden. He's not anywhere close to the same.
You think he's hurt too?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a possible injury or if it's mental. He can't deal with the pressures of being the man. And we've discussed that as well. But it's just to see such a drop off. It's odd. There's something to it. I don't know.
Yeah. We got Boogie Bentley. What's up, Boogie? Hope you're doing well, buddy. He's saying smash that like button. Please smash that like button. We appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. And I'm going to mention too, like we've been mentioning the last few weeks on here, we got the emojis where you can actually subscribe to the network or join the network, the S&B network, and you get access. It's 99 cents a month. You get access to all these wonderful emojis, Tennessee emojis, all those type of things. Boogie's got them on there. I don't think they show up when I put it on there, though.
No, not on the live chat, but
on the live chat they don't. Yeah,
not on the computer. They do on my phone.
On the phone, yeah. That. So, yeah, there they are. Look at all those beautiful emojis. It's got Dobber's beard. It's got Boogie with the microphone in front of his face. It's got VAWLS JP and that sexy brown bag head of his. And then it's got Ponds and Go Big Orange and a Power T. It's got all kinds of neat stuff. And it's only 99 cents a month. Just imagine what we waste 99 cents a month on.
Boogie's dropping some knowledge there. They only show on YouTube, on the YouTube stream.
Well, we need to get on StreamYard, Boogie. We need to be calling their executive vice president or their CEO or somebody and telling them that Talkin VAWLS cannot survive without these emojis showing up.
So I think we're a couple subscriptions away from adding some more icons or whatever. That should be cool during football season. I think we'll hit that and we'll get get some pretty cool. Maybe we'll get Trey Smith in a cowboy hat.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Or
I don't know no one special. I mean, I guess I'm sure that the HIPAA laws have a lot to do with hush hush on injuries, but I know that a lot of that stuff's different with sports and how that they release information on injuries and stuff like that. I mean, part of it's probably that they just didn't want it to be known that James had that injury. I guess I guess they maybe that they didn't want to seem that was an excuse that they were doing or something. Who knows? But with that, but obviously he missed some time there. Cody Branch, you posted a few comments today. We appreciate that, buddy. He's saying Viscovi will be running the point next season fully.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I can see getting another getting a whole off season.
Because I mean, you've got.
I think Springer and
You got Springer, and then that Victor Bailey kid. I'm telling you, I mean, this whole basket. I mean,
totally
it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
Totally forgot about Victor Bailey. That's a kid from Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon. Yeah. And I mean, he was a highly rated kid. I think he was a top 100 point guard. I think didn't he average like 13 points a game or something like that his freshman year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty big get in the off season.
Yeah. And I'm not 100% positive what the situation was surrounding why that he left Oregon or something like that. I'm not sure if it was getting back just closer to home or if he's got a sick family member or maybe what it is. So not for sure. What's up, innocent? The innocent culprit. That is Matt G. Matt G had to change his name to the innocent culprit. Hope he's not in like the witness protection program or running from the law or something. But
if he did, he just blew it.
Yeah, I know it, right? He just blew it. What's up, Matt G? Or excuse me, innocent culprit. We appreciate you joining us again tonight with that. So, any kind of football news going on, Dobber?
Man,
anything? There's only so much basketball I can talk about.
Yeah, this past week, man, I've kind of not really been keeping up with much. I was pretty slammed at work. I've not seen anything official on the defensive line or the linebacker coach. I mean, I know that you got Brambaugh from Colorado and Shelton Felton. Those were the names thrown out there. I saw somebody had put up that Shelton Felton, his ID is active in Tennessee database right now, but no official announcements. You know, like the welcome coach, so and so. They hired who was it yesterday? Former coach
Steve Caldwell. Yeah,
Caldwell to be director of football player operations. Or
he's something with former, I think, or something with the athletic department and all that. I think that was a really good hire. I heard that I don't know if it's true, but somebody said that he's already met with Banks. That he's met with him on that. No one special is saying that he's got to admit he's curious about Weidman and Beck. Is it Becksworth? Is that his name or Beckwith? Isn't it?
Beckwith. Yeah,
Beckwith playing basketball. Actually, I saw this in Ballquest the other night. They were asking about that, and they actually said that they didn't really think that there was probably going to be much of an opportunity for either one of those guys to really play basketball. That Barnes and the coaching staff didn't even know anything about either one of those kids. So,
Beckwith, I think, has an offer from Tennessee
for basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's just kind of what that they hinted at, that they didn't really think that neither one of them. They actually said Weidman was more of the better prospect, is what, based on the recruiting and stuff. But they acted like Barnes didn't really know much about either one of the kids. So, I mean, it tells me right there that obviously that he wasn't really recruiting them, as far as I know. But I don't know. Who knows? We see how that stuff shows up. Maybe in December or January, when football season's over with next year, they show up as players starting when the SEC play starts next year. I mean, who knows? You just never know about this stuff.
Yeah, but it's it's definitely going to be a bit crowded in the locker room next year. Anyway, let's see.
Yeah, which they won't be. They wouldn't be on scholarship as far as basketball goes. Tennessee football is killing it in. What are we talking about, Cody? Who'll be the QB next season? Who'll step up and take charge at the inside linebacker position? The QB is the $1 million question, Cody. I mean, my take on it has been all along that Garantano will be your opening day starter, and I think that Tennessee fans can just hope that.
No, it's Weidman. He has a offer, and he's a hard commit
for basketball.
Yeah.
What do you mean a hard commit?
That's what it says here.
He's a commit to the football team. He can't commit to both. He can't be on scholarship for basketball and play football.
There you go.
But
I just shared a screen with you. Down there at the bottom. 3-star shooting guard.
Weidman is?
Yeah. Yes, Springer, Keon Johnson, Corey Walker that have signed. And as of 2/5, Weidman's status is a commit.
Huh. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said, he may end up showing up after football season and playing. It's hard to say. I just know that they were talking about it the other night on the message board, and they didn't seem to think that Barnes really knew a whole lot about either one of them, really, per se, or whatever. So we'll see. But yeah, Cody. I mean, my stance on it is I still think that Garantano is a starter against Charlotte opening game, and we'll just see. I mean, we'll see if Harrison Bailey can push him. I mean, I think it's extremely huge that Bailey's in already as an early enrollee, and he's getting ready to go through spring practice. Really, really interested to see how that he performs in the spring, and if he's going to be able to build upon that to really push Garantano. Somebody in that quarterback room's leaving. I mean, somebody is, if not two. But I just see no way in the world that Tennessee starts next fall with all four of those quarterbacks. Plus you got Holiday. I just don't see it. And
Kasem Hill, the transfer from Maryland,
yeah,
that set out last year.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see Holiday and see how they use him. I think he could be a pretty dynamic offensive threat. Just with some of the tape I've seen of him, and Chaney's got a knack for using talented guys. So, well,
in my opinion, based on everything that I've read about Holiday, I think that he's going to be one of those kids that Tennessee's going to give him the opportunity to play quarterback, but I think that they're going to be in his ear very, very early on, going, "Hey, you can help us, and you can play several positions, and we can create packages for you. And if you really want to concentrate on being like a wide receiver, we can develop you, and you can become a superstar."
That's what I think. I'd like to see him be kind of a hybrid type of wide receiver.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see if we can get him like on punt and kick returns too.
Yes, no one special. That's a good
Jermaine Copeland.
That's a good one right there.
I'd take a Jermaine Copeland career out of Jimmy Holiday.
That's yeah. So
innocent culprit also says that he'd love to say Bailey, but Maurer let him down last year. Yeah, I think Bailey's got a little bit more skills than probably Maurer did.
Moxie.
Yeah, Moxie. Well, Moxie. UT Tanner's want enough Banks coming back. Be interesting if I had to bet y'all know how my betting record goes, so probably shouldn't say this, but if I had to bet, I think Banks does come back. I think Banks is back. The interesting thing will Banks be back before spring ball?
Still enrolled in classes.
Yeah, because I think that it's going to be big for that, and I think somebody mentioned it up there about the inside linebacker position because obviously we got Toto coming back, but who's going to fill the other one? Who's going to take Batuli's position?
Spot. Yep.
And with Crouch not playing this spring because of the shoulder surgery, who's going to step in? Obviously JJ Peterson. I mean, the opportunity's there, but can you really trust him? Is he really capable?
Opportunity.
Yeah. So, if Banks is coming back, I would imagine that Tennessee would try to get him back for spring ball, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see on that. I think all signs kind of lead towards him coming back, but is it going to be in the summer? I think that's probably what Innocent Culprit's saying. Still up in there, yeah, with that. So, man, that right there gets me pumped right there. Holiday equals Jermaine Copeland.
Oh yeah.
That's
like you said. That would be Hey, we need a good kind of possession receiver like that.
Yeah, but I think probably Holiday's probably got a little bit more wiggle to him than probably Jermaine did.
Well, that's
everything that I've seen and read about him.
That's why I'm excited to see how he is going to be utilized. I know they've said that they want to give him a shot at quarterback, but I really think that with what we have already, the pieces we have, he's if he can adjust to the speed of college football, like you said, his elusiveness in the open field, and man, that could be a pretty lethal combination when you talk about what we do have coming back. Man, can spring not get here quick enough?
I know it. What's up, Wayne Shelton? What are you into, buddy? Oh, he says he's watching ETSU and Furman. Who's winning, Wayne? Drop us the score in the live chat if you don't care to, buddy. UT Tanner, stupid Paul Finebaum says Lane Kiffin is going to beat Saban before us. Thoughts? I think Paul Finebaum is a very smart man because he acts stupid and he gets people to talk about him, to listen to him, and all that. So I don't really put much stock into what Paul Finebaum says.
He's looking to leave ESPN, I believe.
Yeah, I saw where he's talking about having a sitcom about his life.
Yeah.
So anyway, UT Tanner, that does not surprise me about Paul Finebaum. I think that he loves taking jabs at his alma mater, University of Tennessee, and he also loves to rattle these fan bases and to get everybody going. And I think that he probably thought with that comment, obviously, that he would get the Bama fans going, and he knew that he'd get the volunteer fans going. Probably two of the biggest followers of his TV show, probably, or radio show or whatever. So anyway, again, I don't put too much stock in what Paul Finebaum says, but
I mean, you look at how well we played Bama this year.
I'm just telling you right now, there's no way with the talent difference that is on Alabama versus Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin is not going to figure out a way to win that football game.
Not in year one.
No, not next year, not the year after. He's not going to do it. All these people keep on talking about Kiffin's going to end up shocking everybody and winning a bunch of football games. I'm not buying it. I think Kiffin will be gone within 4 years at Ole Miss. I guarantee you that Ole Miss will end up probably on probation. If they even do such a thing anymore in 4 years, they'll probably just slap him on the wrist. But I honestly think that Lane Kiffin is going to be a disaster at Ole Miss.
Well, I
I
mean,
do.
it's a tough place to play. Just with the dominance of the SEC West, the last decade or so, with you had Auburn running off, with Cam Newton, Alabama, LSU has been up and then down and then back up again. I mean, it's you're beating yourself up in conference week in and week out, and that's the same for the whole SEC as an entire conference. But yeah, I mean, I just don't know. And then you got the Pirate on the other end of the state there. The Egg Bowl is going to be interesting to watch, or at least the press conference will be.
Yeah. Wayne's asking us a basketball question about Bowden, why he was scared to death to shoot in the second half. I mean, Bowden's just been that's been a head scratcher the entire year with Bowden.
And that's Wayne.
It's unfortunate.
We kind of talked about that a little bit earlier, and I was kind of questioning. I mentioned we really didn't hear anything about Turner and his injury until he announces he's done for the year. We didn't hear anything about Josiah Jordan-James's groin injury until he's sitting out. And Barnes said it's something that's been nagging him even prior to the season starting. So I threw out there, could Bowden have an injury? Could he be hurt? Or just have something that's kind of nagging at him and because something's just off with his shot between last year and this year. So that, I mean, I was just throwing that out there. It could be between the ears.
That's what I think it is.
That's why there are sports psychiatrists making big bucks, meeting with professional athletes, meeting with golfers who get the yips. A guy that has made millions of dollars during his career that can no longer sink a 5-foot putt. And has to go talk to somebody about it. It's a real thing. I blamed Turner. His lack of production early in the year to had been head case. But then comes out eight games in, he's hanging it up for the season. So I mean, it's hard to tell. We're also talking about 18, 19-year-old kids. Who knows? It's hard to tell.
I honestly think that Tennessee's success the last couple of years, and then with what we lost last year, I think that really put a lot of personal stress probably on both Turner and Bowden. And I think that we probably seen that from the get-go. And then I think that once Turner had his shoulder injury and it was obvious that he was struggling, I think that probably put even more pressure on Bowden. And then when he went out, and I just think all of those things, and let's just face it, I mean, Bowden's always been kind of a streaky shooter. I think it was his sophomore year, he went through a slump there where he couldn't even make a free throw. I mean, he was just very, very struggling big time. So he's never been one of those that's just been just a sharp shooter, you could say. And I just think probably just the pressure of trying to fulfill a lot of the guys that left it last year and stuff. And I think that Bowden's more in his element when he's not the go-to guy, and right. I think that's what's happened this year. Is I think that we all thought that he could be that go-to guy, but that's just not him. That's just not his makeup, and I just think that I think a lot of it is in his head. I just think that he's let the pressure get to him probably, and it's unfortunate. I mean, I hate it for him, and like I said earlier, I hope he can find a hot streak here and carry our Vols on, and somehow we can pull some of these games out. And I said it earlier in the season that if we could start getting consistently 17 to 20-point games from Bowden, that this basketball team would have an opportunity. And he's had some of those, but I don't know. One thing that this basketball team really, really struggles with is the inability to guard guards. Any team that has a guard that's quick and fast. I mean, we saw it last night. That guy had a career night against Tennessee. That number 4, I think, for Vanderbilt.
And that is one of the things that I said this team would miss Turner for his defense, because he was kind of the guy that would even last year. He was typically on the opposing team's best shooter or a quick guard. He's scrappy on defense, man. And that was, to me, behind his on-court presence and leadership, defense was the biggest loss with Turner going out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's shown. Not necessarily offense, because I thought we had some other guys that were capable of stepping up, but that's not happened either. So it's just, and man, we have talked about this pretty much every week. I feel like Groundhog Day. It's just over and over. It's a loop, man. We're repeating the same thing. We need to quit turning the ball over. We need Bowden to score. We need Viscovi to stop turning the ball over.
It's just not going to get better this year.
I don't see it. I mean, could we get hot? It's probably going to be 4 or 5. Hopefully we don't have to play on the Tuesday night, or is it Tuesday or Wednesday night of the SEC tournament?
I think it's Wednesday.
That very first night. Hopefully we don't have to play that night. But we could run off a couple games and then, maybe get somebody else to help you out and knock out one of the stronger teams. That is really the only chance that I see this team making the NCAA tournament. I think even if they went out, the 5 games or 4 games they've got left, even if they win those out, I don't know if they make it. But no, it's just a long shot. And it's going to take, I think, winning the conference tournament to make the NCAA tournament.
We've actually got 5 left. We got Auburn, Arkansas, Florida, Kentucky, and Auburn.
5.
Again. So, I mean, Tennessee goes 5-1 or 4-1 in those games. I don't know. I mean, that would put us at 19 wins. I think we're 15-11 right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that puts you at 19 wins. You win 2 in the tournament, it might, but I don't see this basketball team going 4-1 down the stretch. No. I don't see that happening.
Not with the games they've got left. And the inconsistency that we've seen game to game.
Yeah.
And the inability to close out games, as demonstrated by their last 2 games.
Oh yeah. We've saw that. I mean, that's happened in several games this year, that Tennessee gets down to the last couple of minutes and just really, really, really struggles. I mean, really struggles. Turnovers galore, and all that. So I don't know. We'll see. We get to play our old buddy Bruce Pearl Saturday, though, down in the Plains in Auburn. Maybe this will be one of those games that Auburn throws up about 35 threes and makes about 13%. Maybe our Vols can pull that one out, because I hope it's not a remake of the SEC championship game last year when they absolutely just destroyed us. That was rough to watch for sure.
Yep, throwing up or hitting everything they threw up.
Yeah. I mean, they was crossing half court and basically throwing them up that game. But we'll see what happens. Dobber, you got anything else tonight, man? We're at 55 minutes.
I'm good.
I can't
I'm
believe
good,
my
buddy.
voice is. I can't believe my voice has lasted this long and stuff. But
Hey, way to hang in there. Way to power through.
I know it. We'll see. Cody, I got one more comment from Cody. He says that Jeremy Pruitt will push Georgia.
Cornbread.
Yep, cornbread for the East in 2021, but I think we'll be second in the East this season. I think Florida is the front runner for the East this year. I really do.
You think?
I think so. I think Georgia lost a ton, and I know that they've got a ton of talent, young talent stuff, but I mean their defense is going to have to carry them for sure.
Right.
Did you all see the who was it? I know I was about ready to quit talking, but there was somebody that put out a top 10 defense prediction for 2020 and has Tennessee they feel as the third best defense in the nation.
Yeah.
Not in the SEC, but in the nation. Now, I don't know about that. I'm gonna have to see. We're gonna have to find us some stud pass rushers before I'm ready to say that this football team is going to be third
Somebody
in the
setting
nation
the edge.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
We'll see.
But but we'll definitely see. Wayne gave us another update on the ETSU Bucks 35-32 over Furman first half. Hopefully the Bucks can pull that out. I hope that they can make the tournament at least for sure. So with that, but I think
we'll have somebody to watch then.
I know it, right? For sure.
Yeah.
I think that's going to do it for tonight, though, fellas. We appreciate everybody that joined in, chatted with us, gave us some info. Now, Wayne, I'm not going to make it to Asheville, buddy. I'll have to be in town here, have to work and all that kind of stuff. So I won't make it over there. But I know you said that you was going, so hopefully that the Bucks can have a big showing over there and punch their ticket to the big dance for sure. Because I feel like ETSU can possibly make some noise in the dance if they get in that game. I think that they could make some noise and maybe even win them a game on there. So we'll just have to see. But I'll certainly be cheering the Bucks on when the Southern Conference tournament starts for sure with that. But that's going to do it tonight for Dobber. I'm VAWLS JP. We'll see you all back here next Wednesday night. Tennessee does play Wednesday night. It's not till 8:30 tip against Arkansas. So we'll just do the show before the Arkansas game, talk about it, and then recap the VAWLS game this coming Saturday at Auburn on the Plains. So until next time, for Dobber, I'm VAWLS JP. Go VAWLS.